So what's the most common thing people ask for in a relationship? Isn't it that we want someone to have our back at all times, right? Isn't that what you hear? Like I had a client this morning and they're pursuing new relationships. And so I asked her, like, what are your needs and wants? And she said, oh, compassion. And I said, well, what does compassion mean to you? And she says that no matter what, when I'm in a tough place, they have my back. Isn't that pretty much what we all say? I call that the Kardashian dating model. Like you watch reality TV and everyone says, they should have my back at all times. Like, can you believe they weren't there to support me? Well, you're going to discover that that's why relationships fail. Because first of all, that's not even possible. Because do you see what you're asking? Like, let's say I just had a heart attack, but you got a bad phone call from your boss at work, but yet the expectation is I'm supposed to be there to support you at all times. Like, do you see how that dynamic never works? And it's an unrealistic expectation. And here's what it creates. See, unfortunately, the model of relationships we've all been taught is this: codependence. And so what that request is asking, see, these two circles, see them as two individual people. And so the model we've all been taught in relationships is this: we need to give up everything for the other person, and I get full support, full attention right here. Well, do you see what we lose? We lose ourselves. And that's why you see people when they start dating, they both gain 10, 15 pounds. They both stop doing the things that they used to do. This is their life, their individuality. Well, now they're caught up here because they're so busy being there at all times for the other person. Well, this never works. This is why the divorce rate is over 50%, this unrealistic expectation. Now, you have to understand the concept of codependence is relatively new. You know, Pia Melody and some others just in the last 20, 30 years, you know, so none of us have grown up with this realization that the whole model of relationships we've been taught is massively dysfunctional. The key to a relationship is what's called intradependence. What that means is we both have our individual lives and we both make shared contributions into this shared space. Now, hopefully what you find is that you pick somebody who more often than not is able to join you. So let's say I wanted to go to a movie. Well, hopefully I pick somebody who more often than not likes to go to the movies with me. We share in this interdependent space. But let's say I pick somebody who hates movies. Well, they have the power to say no, and they go live their life here. They go out with their girlfriends or whatever it is their hobby is. But see, the expectation that you have to be there to support me and love everything I do, look at how limiting that relationship is. And how codependent. It's like my whole life, I've given up who I am for this. That's all I'm getting. And now my whole life, my happiness and everything is solely dependent on this and the other person. See, I'm living here and I'm expecting this other person over here to fill this void. That's how most of us go into relationship. Well, that's not their job. That's my job. Now, I appreciate when we can share in that existence, that interdependent, when we can both make a contribution into that shared space. But the concept of you have to have my back and be there for me at all times isn't realistic. So let me give you an example, because like she brought up, she's like, well, what if I got in a fight with my mother and I needed them to support me? How would that play out? And I said, well, let's say, just for argument's sake, let's say I was dating somebody. And if that happened, here's how I would respond to them. So they get a terrible phone call from their mother. My girlfriend or wife needs support. But let's say I've just had a horrific day. So my response would be, honey, I love you. And I can see that you're in pain. But right now, I'm struggling with my own issues, so I can't contribute. I can't be present for you. I don't have the space. I don't have the reserves in my heart to be empathetic and support you in this. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go work on me. I'm going to go heal the stuff that I'm struggling with, because right now you can't join me either, and I don't expect you to. So I'm going to go off and do that work, and I promise you this. The second I can get containment back, I'll join you. I'll be there for you. And so that in an interdependent relationship, my partner would go, man, that's beautiful. I'm so glad that you're going to go take care of yourself. I'm going to go call Susie or Sharon and talk to them. Let me know when you're ready. Do you see how beautiful that is? Because what's the alternative? What do we all do? Well, I've got to have their back. So we sit there stewing inside in our own rage because we have our own needs that we're not meeting. We want them to listen to us, but we're not communicating that. And so then a week later we go, I needed you last week and I was there for you, but you didn't want to listen to me. Now we throw it in their face. Boom. Divorce. That's how it happens. Everybody is expecting that their partner live in this space. That's abusive. Absolutely abusive to expect that. You're asking them to be God and be perfect at all times and always be there for you. That's not love. So if you want to pursue a healthy relationship, you have to learn about codependence, interdependence, learning to meet your needs on your own, making deposits into this interdependent circle or piece of the pie that you both bring to the relationship. Without that information, that's why the divorce rate's over 50%. So I'll leave the decision to you. If you want to keep using the model everyone else is using, you have a guaranteed outcome of less than 50% that it's going to work out. If you like those numbers, if that's a grade in school that you're okay with, then wonderful. Keep doing it. But if you'd like to get the numbers up around 70, 80, 90%, this is what you have to learn. So anyway, I hope that helps you out. I hope you can see how in your own relationships, by not having this information because we don't teach it, how you absolutely had no shot. It's not your fault. You're not to blame. You did the best you could. But had you had this information, you would have had a shot. So don't beat yourself up. If you want those numbers to change, if you want to have a higher success rate, make the choice to learn about these dynamics so you can create that with your partner. I hope that helps you. Have a great day.